So you can listen to this practice wherever you find yourself today. You can be sitting down or laying down or even stretching and doing things if that's what you got to do. And hopefully wherever you're at when you listen, this will still be helpful to you in some way. So if you would like to listen to this in a still position, you can feel free to take all the time you need to arrive there. And just allow yourself to fidget and adjust, stretch or move in whatever ways feel good in your bones and your muscles and joints. And doing your best to not think about the movements, but almost letting your body move you in the ways that intuitively feel good. And if what feels best to you right now is stillness, then honoring that need for stillness whenever that feels like what you need. And so there is no rush whatsoever. You can continue to move throughout this practice if that's what you need to do. And hopefully, wherever you're at when you listen, this will still be helpful to you in some way. And if you would like to listen to this in a still position and haven't made your way there yet, you may do so whenever you are ready. And if you're in a space where you feel safe and would like to, you can allow the eyes to gently close at any time if they aren't already. And mark your arrival into your practice today, into your body today, with a full, intentional cleansing breath. Take a long and slow inhale in through the nose and just watch yourself fill up to every corner and edge of you as you just hold that for a moment once you're full to really experience that sense of fullness. And without straining as you need to, slowly let all of that go. Through the nose, exhaling bit by bit. And just gently pulling the navel toward the spine at the bottom of your exhale to really push that last bit of stagnant air out of you. As you again pause for a moment to experience that sense of emptiness. And allow your next breath to come to you as it's needed. And so you can breathe just like this for as many rounds as feels good and helpful for you. Not worrying too much about the length of your inhales, exhales, and pauses on either side, but just letting them be exaggerated, whatever that means for you today. So when your body would naturally stop inhaling, seeing if you can just take in a few more sips of air, just letting that inhale be exaggerated and pausing a bit more intentionally than you might normally. And then again, exhaling fully and deeply and pushing a little bit more air out of you, even when you think you're empty, seeing how empty you can get, and then pausing to feel that emptiness as you allow the next breath to come as it's needed. As we just consciously slow down the process of our breath. Slowing down the 4 parts of the breath. Communicating to our nervous system that now is the time to slow down, to release, and to feel. Taking a moment to remind yourself that this practice is not a thinking or doing process, but this is a listening and feeling practice. And so at any point, if you haven't already, you can just release this guidance over your breath altogether. And allow yourself to step almost back and up in your mind into that role of the observer or the witness. And seeing if you can just simply witness the fact that your body is breathing, rather than having any direct influence over the rhythm or depth of your breath. But reminding yourself how the breath is that one bodily function that can be either voluntary or automatic. So releasing that voluntary guidance and just observing the automatic process now. Knowing how your body does breathe all on its own, even when you are deep in sleep. Your breath comes and goes, just like the waves do on the shoreline. So watching your breath the same way as you would watching the waves roll up and recede back into the ocean. Not trying to change anything about the speed or the size of the waves, but just observing them as they come and go, knowing that they will without any of your doing, without any of your guidance. Reminding yourself how your body functions absolutely perfectly to keep you alive every single moment of your life up to this exact point. Even if you've been through periods of illness or disease, or if you're in a stage like that right now, your body is doing enough to keep you alive. And just resting in the wonder of that gift. Allowing yourself to accept that. And sink into a sense of trust with your own anatomy, with your own body. As you just allow yourself to be as heavy as you actually are, and sink down into the surface that is supporting you. Feeling a sense of trust with the earth beneath you and with the force of gravity all around you. Knowing that when you let go, when you exhale and release all tension in the body, you will be held exactly where you need to be. You will not be crushed down into the earth, and you will not float away. But you will be held in this perfect position, simply with the earth beneath you and gravity around you. Your skin is supporting and holding everything within you. And just bringing some attention to your skin, this largest organ of your body, your layer of protection from the world around you. Maybe tracing the outline of your body right now, the shape that you are in. Just paying attention to that point where your skin meets the air around you, or your clothes, or the surface beneath you. And if you could zoom in your awareness so close to any part of your skin, you would see the pores on your skin and how your skin itself is breathing right along with your body. with your lungs. As your body inhales, the pores expand. And as your body exhales, they contract. And just trusting this natural filter that your skin is. Knowing that nothing that would be harmful to your body is entering your body. And anything that is helpful to your body is welcomed in through the pores. Trusting this natural barrier, this filter, and that your skin has the power to transmute anything harmful into something that is good for you. The light that is within you, within your heart, has the capability to transform anything into that same light. And so just let some of your awareness come to your face, and without changing anything, first notice any expression that is resting on your face. Making note of any emotions that could be communicated by the expression on your face. And just seeing if you can create some space between the muscles of your face. Seeing if you can allow all these muscles, all the tiny muscles that exist in your face that create every expression you've ever made. Seeing if you can allow these muscles to ungrip from the bones and release back into the support of your skin. You just feel a sense of stillness and softness across the entire face. Maybe even a brief sense of acceptance with whatever you are feeling right now. Reminding yourself that acceptance, or accepting what is, does not mean that you agree with it. It does not mean that you like it or even want it to be this way. You do not need to be feeling good all of the time or feeling inspired and whole to accept what you're feeling. Acceptance simply means that you acknowledge what is. You acknowledge the reality that is presenting itself. And so if there is pain present in the body or in the heart or in the mind, seeing if even just for a brief second you can release any resistance to that. And you can simply accept those feelings of pain and exhale into them. And allow any sense of release that needs to come. Remembering that we do not move on from painful or uncomfortable feelings by pushing them away or trying to ignore them or distract from them. The only way that we can truly move on from feelings is by feeling them, by allowing them to arise from within us and release. And the more we shove things down deeper within us, just the louder they echo through us and control our actions more insidiously. But if we can take some time to almost take inventory of the feelings that are present within us, we can be aware of how we are reacting. And we can choose to let our actions be guided through a place of compassion and empathy for ourselves and what we are experiencing. And not allow our reactions to be guided through our initial feelings and the pain that we feel. And a really helpful analogy I like to remember when I am feeling pain, any kind of pain, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual pain, is the analogy that comes from Hellenistic astrology. And if you've been in my meditations before, you've heard this a million times, but I will continue to remind you and myself that this analogy is of the sun and the moon. And in Hellenistic astrology, the moon is the representation of our physical body, our bones, muscles, and joints. And the moon, just like our body, does not have its own light. It is simply matter. But the moon reflects the light of the sun, which is the representation of our soul, our inner spark. The soul within us that brings our body to life, that animates our body. The sun lights up the moon, just like our soul lights up our body. And there are times where the moon is full and it is completely illuminated by the sun, and it is bright, whole, and it shines light for others in the darkness. And there are other times where that exact same moon is what we call a new moon. And it is not reflecting any light. It is in the shadows. It is disconnected, in a state of hibernation maybe. And it is not reflecting any light. And this is the same moon. The moon is not meant to be full and bright and whole all of the time. But the moon is simply meant to move through all of these different phases. Every phase between the new moon and the full moon. And we are the same way. We are not meant to feel whole and bright and inspired, connected all of the time. And that expectation we put on ourselves to be feeling good and inspired and motivated all of the time can in itself be the greatest source of our suffering. That first layer of resistance to what is. But if we can allow ourselves to be in whatever phase of life we are in, and trusting, knowing on a deep level that it is impossible that a phase will last forever, the only thing we can count on is that everything changes, especially how we feel, then we can allow ourselves to comfort ourselves, do the things that make us feel good and comforted when we need it, when we're feeling in the dark and disconnected. And it can also be permission for us to fully feel and soak in all the good stuff we're feeling when we feel whole and motivated. And release any guilt you might feel for feeling good when you know that there are others who are suffering. And use your light to shine it for those others who are suffering. And so you can just take the next few moments to just allow everything you've heard today to settle. Allow all of your feelings to settle. Feel a deep sense of trust with exactly where you are in your life right now. And just know on a deep, deep level that you are exactly where you need to be, or else you would not be here. And you are going exactly where you need to go. Even when it doesn't feel like it. Life has a way of working out, and sometimes we will go through so much pain and so much suffering along the way. We will go through so much pain and suffering along the way, but that doesn't mean anything about who you are as a person. It does not mean you've done anything wrong. It does not mean you're being punished. It simply means that you are human, and you are living the human experience. And so just allow yourself to be human. And so you can just allow every single word that you've heard today to settle. And just trust that anything you heard today that really resonated with you or struck a chord with you or felt helpful in some way. Just trusting that that feeling can sometimes come when we hear on the outside what a part of us already knows to be true on the inside. And so just allowing those truths to be enhanced within you. So you feel a little bit more confidence to act on your own intuition. Knowing that there is nobody out there who can teach you more about yourself and your passions and your own journey than what quiet time with yourself can teach you. You are your own best teacher, always. And you never have to give that power away to anyone else. And if you ever come across someone who tries to convince you that they know you better than you know you, or they know what's best for you better than what you know, you can let that be a giant red flag for you to check back in with yourself. And again, never give that power away. That is your greatest strength in this life. Nobody out there will ever spend more time with you than you. And so it's impossible for anyone to know you better. And you do not need any translator for you to speak to whatever spirit or source you believe in that's out there, if any at all. But remember that you are alive, you are life. And life is constantly being pumped into your body through your heart. And so you have a direct line of connection to the source that all life comes from, through your heart, simply because you are alive. And you do not need anyone else to translate any connection, but you can fuel your own personal connection to whatever source or spirits you believe in, again, if any at all. But you can let that be a great comfort to you, that you have a direct line of connection to the source of all life and all love. And again, sometimes we will feel it and we will feel whole and bright, and other times we'll feel in the dark. But regardless of how it feels, that connection is always there. For as long as you are alive, you are connected to life. Just like every plant, every animal, and every person out there. And so if it feels like something you'd like to do today, you can just let your hands find each other in a prayer position toward heart center. And just feel that contact of your palms to one another, of your fingers to one another. And allow your thumbs to press toward your heart and your heart to lift back toward your thumbs. As you just take a moment to really tune in to this unique rhythm that is the steady background beat of your entire life, your own heart. And you can take a final deep, full breath into the body, filling up to every corner and edge of you. And as you exhale, letting go of anything you're ready to let go of, as you allow the head to gently bow. And just taking this moment to bow to the source of energy that allows all of our hearts to beat, whatever you believe that to be. And bowing to everyone else in this space who has listened and completed this practice right alongside you. And finally bowing to yourself for choosing to show up today and for taking the time out of your busy life for this pure act of self-love and self-care. And may this act continue to heal you through the rest of your days and nights, and may you bring the same love and understanding to everything you do and to everyone that you see. Thank you.